What's going on, everybody? This video, I'm going to show you how to add player portraits into Madden 24. There's quite a few tools you need to do this. I'm not going to go into how to get the tools. I'll shout out where to get them, but you got to go out and get them yourself. I'll shout them out as we go through the video. The first thing that you're going to want to do for this is make yourself some folders just to stay organized. So what I usually do is I'll go into File Explorer, go to my Pictures folder, and I'll make 3 separate folders. I got my Player Portraits folder, a 512 folder, and a 256 folder. As we go through in the video, you will see why I made all 3 of these folders, and it's to keep things organized. So the first step in this whole process is getting the portrait. So to get the portraits, I just go to ESPN, and I'll search whatever player I want. So you can go to search, you just type in Caleb Williams. That's who we're going to use for this example. There he is, Caleb Williams. So when you got the player that you want, you're going to want to right click on the picture, open image in a new tab, right click the picture again, and then save the image as. We're going to put him in this player portraits folder that we just created. Name him Caleb Williams, and we're going to save. Easy peasy. So the next step is we're going to need this tool called paint.net. You can go Google this and download it. It's pretty easy to Google and download. And what you're going to do when you get paint.net open is we're going to open up that picture that we just downloaded of Caleb Williams. Once you have the picture, we're going to go up to the top here. We're going to click Image, Resize. And you're going to make sure you have Maintain Aspect Ratio unchecked, because otherwise it just fudges with these numbers too much. So just leave that unchecked. And we're going to want to do a 256 by 256. So width and height both at 256. We're just going to click OK. You can see it kind of makes a small adjustment to the image there. Next, this is the important part. I'm going to click File, Save As. We're going to put it in that 256 folder because it is a 256 pixel image. Then we're going to change the file type. So we're not going to save as a PNG. We're going to click this drop down menu and select Direct Draw Surface, or DDS. I'm going to save this as a DDS file. I'm going to click Save. Another very important step. Make sure all of these settings are selected before you click OK. So you're going to want to go to this drop down. If it's not already set to BC3 Linear DXT5, click the drop down and click BC3 Linear DXT5. Check this Air Diffusion, and then check Uniform. And click OK. Then we're going to take the image, we're going to resize it again. This time we're going to do it 512 pixels. So width 512, height 512. Click OK. And you can see the adjustment gets made, image gets a little bigger. We're going to go File, Save As. This one we're going to put in our 512 folder because it is a 512 pixel image. Again, we're going to make sure we're on Save File Type as a DDS, Direct Draw Surface, Save. Again, make sure this is all correct, BC3, Linear DXT5, Air Diffusion, Uniform, click OK. And you can close out paint.net. Now, next thing we're going to need is an AST editor. AST editor you can get from the Madden Modding Community Discord. Just go into the Discord, search for the AST editor, or ask around. You'll find it, download it, extract the file, run the program. So once we get it open, actually I skipped a step. You are going to need the AST editor, so go ahead and get that. The next thing we're going to need is the Frosty editor, which is another program that you can get from the Madden Modding Community Discord. Go to the Discord, search for it, ask around, you'll find it. So we're going to once you get Frosty Editor, go ahead and load it up. Select our game, Madden 24. Click Select. This takes a second to load everything in. Alright, once everything gets loaded in, you're going to want to click on this Legacy Explorer tab right here. You're going to want to drop down Common, drop down UI, scroll down, drop down Madden, scroll down, go to Swappables, scroll down to the player portraits. So first we're going to do Portraits 256. So I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to export that, I'm going to put that in my 256 folder, Portraits 256, save it. Next, we're going to do this portraits folder. This is the 512 pixel images. So portraits, export, go to the 512 folder, and save it. Now you can see why we made those two folders, those three separate folders earlier, just to keep all this in the same spot so things don't get mixed up. Now, once you've done that, then you open up the AST editor. You go File, Open. We'll do the 256 portraits first. We got our 256 pixel images. Now these are all the portrait IDs. This is all the players with portraits. Some of them are, there's no portrait. Some of them are actual player portrait. Some of them are those auto-generated portraits. But there's 9,992 of them. Now, this is how we're going to go about setting the portrait that we just made with Caleb Williams. This is how we're going to get it into the file. Now, I've been told that you can add images to this file, or you can add IDs, portrait IDs, so you can make more. I don't know how to do that. You're going to have to ask somebody else how to do that. What I do is I take portraits from players that I don't really care about and assign it, and then import the image that I made into that player's ID. So to do that, we're going to need the My Franchise tool. Now, My Franchise tool, this is another thing that you can get from the Madden Modding Discord community. Just go there, search for it, or ask around, you'll find it. So once you get the My Franchise tool, you're going to open it up. You're going to click on your franchise. This is my test franchise that we're doing this in. Now, this is where we're going to steal a player's portrait. So the way I go about doing this is I go to the free agents, and I'll do like the punters, or even the kickers. And I'll just look for a guy like, I don't know, Christopher Dunn. Is he even on a team right now? I'm just curious. Let's see if he's on a roster. Is he actually the Rams kicker right now? I don't think he's the Rams kicker right now. Yeah, this guy ain't even on the team right now. Place kicker is Lucas Harbin, whatever. So, whatever. Just for the sake of this video, you don't have to take Christopher Dunn's photo. You can take anybody's photo you want. But I'm just going to take Christopher Dunn's photo. So, to get his portrait ID, we're going to go to Actions, Edit Player, Portrait ID. So let's copy that. I'm going to throw it into a notepad, just so I don't lose it. Then we're going to give him a portrait ID of 0. Save, save. And then now you can see he just gets the empty portrait ID. Next, I'm going to go to my NFL Draft class. So you go to NFL Draft, Draft class, open up Caleb Williams, and you can see he has just this auto-generated picture right now. So for him, we're going to go Actions, Edit Player, and we're going to change his portrait ID to the guy we just stole, 2127. Save Player, save. It's not going to populate right away. You're going to have to close out a franchise tool and then reopen it. And now when we go see Caleb Williams again, he's going to have that guy's photo. For now, you'd see. So that's obviously not Caleb Williams. That's the guy's photo we just stole. That's just because we haven't replaced the portrait ID in the AST editor yet, which we're about to do right now. So in order to do that, we're going to go back to our AST editor. And now, since our portrait ID was 2127, we're going to scroll down through all these IDs to 2127. So there it is, 2127. Now, this is something I always do just to confirm I'm taking the right guy's photo so I don't mess something up. I do extract selected just to my desktop just to the desktop real quick, then you can see there he is. And that's the guy that we just took the portrait from. So that's what we want, 2127. We're going to right click. Now this is the portrait's 256 pixels. We're going to replace selected with the pictures with the 256 pixel image of Caleb Williams. Open. Once it saves, it'll kind of like shoot you back to the top. That's how you know it's been saved. Very important. This next step, we need to file, save as. Now I'm going to save it as Portraits 256 edited, just so that we know that this is the edited file that we just made, and we're going to save it. Now we're going to file, open the 512 portraits, and we're going to do the same thing here. Now the difference with the 512s is whatever number they were, so like this guy's portrait was 2127, you got to add 10,000 to that for the 512 pixel. So 2127 was that guy's portrait ID. We're going to add 10,000, so we're going to be looking for 12,127. So we'll scroll all the way down, 12,127. And again, we will extract just to make sure we got the right photo. And there he is. This is the 512. See, it's a little bigger. So we're going to right click that, replace selected with the 512 Caleb Williams. See the directory loaded, went back to the top. Again, we're going to file, save as, call this Portraits 512 edited, so we know it's the edited one. And we're going to save it. Now, we're going to go back into Frosty Editor, and on these two portrait sections, so for Portraits 256, we're going to right click that. We're going to import the 256 edited portraits that we just did. Same thing for the portraits, import the 512 edited portraits we just did. Now we're not quite done. You need to go to File, Export to Mod. You got to fill out all the red here. You can fill out whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to do Caleb Williams portrait. Author is me. Version is 1. And I'll just call it Portraits. And this drop down, you can like select whatever you want. I just leave it on custom and I just type in Portraits. Save. Now the default path where they want to save, where like Frosty will save, is in the editors folder, in the editor folder. So when you open it up in your mod manager, it's going to put it in the mods folder for you. So we're just going to save. Maybe I did something wrong. Hang on a second. Now, why isn't it coming up? It says it's in there. There it is. I don't know why I wasn't finding it, but it's in there. So we got it. So next, we're going to go open up our mod manager, not the Frosty editor, but the mod manager. Select our game, Madden. And this mod manager you can also get from the Discord community. Once we have it up, we're going to click Add Mod, Caleb Williams Portrait Mod. The mod that we just made. We're going to apply it. I usually set it towards the top here. Then we're going to open up Madden Spark, which you can also get from the Madden modding community. This is what you need to do to run your mods. You need the Madden Spark. Click Activate Mods. Then we can launch the game. From the mod manager, click Launch. Just click OK through these prompts. You're going to get some command line prompts. Some elevation requests. Just click Yes on those. And then let the game do its thing. You can probably skip ahead a little bit in the video here if you want, because this might take a second to get fully loaded in. But we're basically done now. That is it. We're just going. I'm just going in now to show you that the portrait has been loaded in.
Madden modding community. Now it's in the game.
So again, there's quite a bit of steps, quite a bit of tools you need, but once you get into the flow of it, it's not that hard. It's just important to stay organized. There's been several times where I've been doing this, doing like multiple players at once, and I just overwrite the wrong thing or click the wrong thing, delete the wrong thing. It happens all the time. So it's just very important to stay organized while you do it. Alright, so we're going to open up the franchise that we just edited. You can go to the prospects of the draft class, and there you go. Caleb Williams. He has now been added. His portrait has now been added. I'll be back with another video soon. I'm going to do how to add a coach, and add a portrait for the coach, and then I'm also going to do how to add a portrait for your owner. So we can show you how to do all those things as well. One last thing I want to show you. So now that we've imported that portrait, you can go to the My Franchise tool as well. Go to that franchise. Go to the draft. And you'll see Caleb Williams. Oh, he still has this photo. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I don't know why he still has this photo in My Franchise tool, to be honest with you. Because it's different in-game. So, yeah, it's interesting. And you can always do this. You can just click Set Portrait, and then just bang, there. Now he's replaced. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why it didn't pull over the portrait from the game. But either way, not a big deal. It's an easy fix. As you can see, you can just set the portrait if you want. But yeah. Alright, well, thanks for watching the video. If you guys have any questions, just send me a message on Discord, and I'll be happy to try to walk you through it. You guys have a good one.